Welcome back, my friends and fellow gamers. I'm Wrath, and today we're taking another run back into good old Outward. So, it's been a while since I played this game, and I wanted to go ahead and jump into it. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves a character real quick, and there's a certain look that I always like for my character here. Let's see. I don't know, that looks like a girl's haircut. Alright, I just kind of like the ponytail, I don't know why. Alright, we'll give him just sort of a short, close cropped one. So I've been noticing a lot recently. I recently watched a bunch of videos where they were doing like beginner tips and stuff for Outward, and I found them all very, very annoying because they were very, very, like, I don't want to say stupid, but they were overly simplistic. They were things that you would figure out within 10 seconds of playing the game on your own without having to do anything. So I thought that I would try to do a run through with sort of a different set of knowledge in the mix. So what I'm doing right now is I'm starting back up from scratch, and you'll notice I've skipped basically everything that's on the bridge. Now most people, they'll tell you to just grab everything you can, but that's not going to be the case. So we're going to talk to him because he automatically gives you clothing. Even though there's clothing over there on the beach, he gives you a set of clothes as well. So what we're doing is we're bypassing a lot of we're getting ourselves set up to have the materials that we need without bogging ourselves down too quickly. So the first thing that we need is we need to kill these two hyenas. Alright, so let's get them while they're separated. Let's get this guy. Come on. Come get me. That's right. Alright, we'll lock onto him. You'll want to circle him and close in like this. Try not to trade hits with them. It's better to take just one hit than to give him chances at multiples. So you only want to give him really one shot at you. The best combo to do this with is light attack, heavy attack real quick on him, because then you can just cut through him real fast. Alright, so that's got some of what I want, but I'm not going to loot it because I don't want to weigh myself down just yet. So now we're going to bring on the other guy. Come on. Let's go, buddy. See, because they do that retreat maneuver, you can punish them for it by just doing a light and then a heavy attack. Okay, so this is exactly what I wanted. The loot dropped two of the things that you need in an early game for a quick, good start. So I'm going to start with those right there, because what I can do is I can unequip this piece of clothing and I can real quick throw those together, and now I've got the makeshift leather, which actually gives me more carrying capacity, so I can carry more of the stuff I'm going to find around here, which will help me out. And that's a great starting, because I mean, this is the makeshift leather set, which is just, you know, any kind of like cloth, boots, hat, and clothing reinforced with the leather. So if I can get like 2 more pieces of leather, I can convert those boots and this hat here into the full makeshift leather set. And that's really good because that gives me a good solid start for equipment. On top of that, one of these guys dropped predator bones. And that's extremely useful because it means that we can start off the game with getting, as soon as we get into our village, we can get a really decent starting weapon of our choice that will be something that we can use for a good long while. So we're gonna go ahead and run back here and check for the things that we need. Okay, we'll take that. Actually, we'll take all of this stuff because all of that is useful. One of the other things is, don't underestimate the usefulness of this seaweed. It is incredibly useful. For one, you can make a tea with it that will cure a cold outright, rather than like the soup that you can make that slowly cures a cold over time. The one that you can get from the tea cures it immediately. So that is a huge windfall. Plus the teas, the 4 different teas that you can get are immune to degradation. Once you've crafted them, they don't go bad ever. So that's extremely useful. I'm gonna get a drink to fix our thirst here. We're gonna keep on moving. Now, if you remember, I chose not to pick up that other set of clothes because I could get a free set from him, but if I'm wearing the clothes, he won't give them to me. So by making sure that I don't have them on when he comes looking, when I go to talk to him, he gives them to me, and I can come back here and grab these ones, and I can deconstruct them into some more bandages. And I'm going to deconstruct this as well because we don't actually need that. Because while it might be useful for a hot weather clothing, it's not worth it currently. Because by the time I'm ready to go to the desert, there will be plenty of other options. So I don't need to drive myself crazy. Okay. And we're just going to sleep for 1 hour here, and it's going to start us in the village, in our house, ready to go. It's incredibly important when you get started to make sure that you maximize the use of your time. You're going to find yourself in a bad way to start off here, because obviously they want their money. If you're familiar with this game, they'll basically try to extort you for money. And see right there, we've got 2 extra hides, so we can immediately remove this and this and craft them into the boots and the hat. And because we've crafted those now, we have a good starting set of armor that will provide us with a basic good defense for starting out. I mean, it's not great, but for starting out, it ain't half bad. So we're going to go ahead and, because we don't need any of these, we're going to go ahead and deconstruct them for the linens that they can give us. And that's going to be useful for us. Okay, so we're going to, real quick, we're going to run through and get everything else that's in here. Now, one of the things is, don't, when you get one of these scrolls here, because you'll see I'll get a scroll here, don't read the scrolls. The reason I say that is because you don't need them. If you, and I'm not going to take that bedroll either. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. If you take the bedroll, the bedroll, you're going to end up using it, and I don't generally use it. We're going to go ahead and move all this to the satchel. Now, one of the things that's important is don't keep your money in your pockets. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if you die for whatever reason, if you get taken down in a battle, you lose some of the stuff that's in your pockets, and that is extremely painful on you if you lose a large amount of your money that you might be carrying around with you because you died. I once had, I was carrying around 800 silver, and I had it in my pocket instead of my my bag, and so when I got killed, I lost like 600 of it, and that was just absolutely loathsome. So you do want to take the time to learn every recipe that you can. You can find them all. There's a wiki that you can go to that will show you all of the different recipes. And I'm just going to blitz through this conversation. Yeah, piss off, people. Yeah, I'm going. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to decide what weapon you enjoy the most. Alright? Since I only got one thing of Predator Bones, it's probably going to be in my best interest to pick a one-handed weapon. I do like the polearms, like the quarterstaff there, but for now I'm going to leave that because I can't sell it. It doesn't have any intrinsic value, and all I can do is deconstruct it, and it's really not worth that much. So I'm not going to bother with that one. I'm just going to leave it where it is. But we're going to go through the various different weapons here. Now, everybody has their own personal choice in this matter. I happen to like the sword and the axe. Those are my two personal favorites. Obviously, like any other game, as soon as you're let loose in the town, rob everybody blind. Just take everything you can. Anything that's not nailed down, take it. So you'll see I just got another outfit there. And that outfit is actually really good for hot weather. So when we go to the desert, we may need that one for crossing the desert. But we're not going to worry about it too much right now. This first portion, anything that you find that you don't want to get rid of immediately should get stored back in your house. Since I'm already overweight, I'm going to go ahead and dump off that the clothing, because I do want to keep that for later use unless I find something better. Let's see here. Oh, we do have enough to learn the recipe. So real quick, we're going to go down and learn another recipe that I didn't think we had enough to learn. Or we probably got it because I was getting these here. So some of these you'll memorize over time just because you use them so often. But as soon as you craft something, you have the recipe. So learning to just identify the ones that you know you need and making them. Oh wait, there was another one I could make because I've got one of the beetles. Those spice beetles are really important, and you can get them from just about any kind of harvesting, aside from like mining. So these little guys are really, really useful. But the primary use is for these teas. So the bitter spicy tea, that gets rid of infections, but it also restores your maximum stamina, because your maximum health, maximum stamina, and maximum mana deplete over time. And so it's in your best interest to be able to restore them. Now there is another meal that you can make called pungent paste that will restore health and stamina in a large amount. That also requires one of those beetles, but it's not because it does decay over time. It's better to have maybe one or two of those in reserve for big long trips where you're going to be doing a lot of stuff. But you generally want to go with the teas because they're cheap, they're inexpensive, they don't decay over time. So you can stockpile them. Oh, there's some more stuff to grab. We're overweight again. And so we're going to talk to this lady here because she will give us work to do. Okay. Alright, she'll give us a few potions of antidote just in case we get poisoned. But we're going to keep on plugging away here. So I have like a whole routine of how I go through this town when I'm going after everything that I want here, because everything that I'm grabbing, see now I'm moving slower because I've grabbed too much stuff. I've already decided that I'm going to use the sword because I happen to like the move set for the sword, for the one-handed sword. So right now most everything that I'm picking up, and now I'm like really overburdened, most everything that I'm picking up right now is just to allow me to sell this stuff. I can break those down. Don't need that one. And these crab eyes are good for two different things. The two things that they're good for is poison rags, which you can use for adding decay damage to your weapons for a short period of time. Kind of like think kind of like Dark Souls, when you have like the resins or whatever that you put on your weapon and that give it some type of damage type. This is basically the same thing, only these are much easier to come by. It's like pretty darn disposable. You don't have to worry about them too much. Gonna get these now. What I'm hoping to get here, there's 3 of these in the village that you can raid. But what I'm hoping for is a rainbow trout so I can complete a mission right away. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to get my wish. There's another machete in case you missed the first one. Nope, no, nothing good there. And another one. Getting plenty of good old water skins, so that'll be useful down the line. So we're just gonna run up here, save some of my stamina. So the actual recipes for the makeshift gear, the makeshift armor, is right here. But since we already know what these are, and we've already made them, we don't need those. So we can just sell them for a tiny bit of profit to start off with. So one of the things we need to do is we need to talk to everybody and get missions from them. So in the meantime, we will go ahead and sell that. I'll break the simple shoes down as well. Let's see here. So you can have that and that and that. And you notice that this is giving me a little bit of a war chest. It's not much. 60 gold is very much just a tiny little parcel of money, but it's going to help us accomplish our primary goal, which is getting a good weapon to start things off with and getting a good bag to work with. So because we have 60 right now, we should be first of all, I'm going to get my quests here. So we'll start with talking to her. Yes, I'd like to make crystal powder for you. Not right now. So her we'll come back and do stuff with once we have an alchemy kit. But he wants me to take a ledger to Berg, and that's fine. And not now. So the next thing we want to do is we want to pick out our weapon, which means coming over to the blacksmith here. Let's browse. Okay, so because I want to use one-handed swords, the only one-handed sword he has is the iron sword, and that's the one that I actually need. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. You can do this with any of the iron weapons. So if you have one of these from the drops at the beginning, then you can only do it with a one-handed weapon. So either the iron sword, the iron axe, or the iron mace, you can do this. If you don't, then you'll need to come back. If you do have two of these, then you can also try it with the iron claymore, the iron great axe, the iron hammer, any one of those you can, or the iron halberd. You can do that, but it's you're just basically going to do a crafting recipe. So we're going to go ahead and, because we've now got the sword that we want, we're going to go ahead and craft it. So we're going to take our iron sword, we're going to add a linen and bones, and voila, we now have the Fang sword. Now the thing that makes this a really good sword is that while it does a bunch more damage, like this one does 12, but the Fang sword does the Fang sword does 20, and the iron sword does less than the Fang sword. But the Fang sword also applies bleeding to your enemies when you hit them. So you can hit an enemy, fade away from them, and let them bleed to death very, very slowly over time. But it can, that coupled with, say, like a poison on your weapon can help you overcome your enemies pretty easily. So let's go ahead and sell that because we don't need it. And now we're going to go get the bag that we need. So we're going to do a quick exchange over here. Yeah, I'd like to buy something, sir. Alright, so what we want is we want to start with the nomad bag, because that's going to take care of us here. Alright, so we're going to get out of this, we're going to go to our inventory, and we're going to move everything into pockets. This is going to make us basically unable to move at all because we'll be so far overweight. But that is okay. And we're just moving everything out of this because we're going to take the other bag off, and we want to be able to put it in the, without dropping it on the ground. We want to be able to put it in our inventory so that we can drop it off in the storage at our house instead of just leaving it laying around. Okay, so unequip that, and now we'll equip this one. So everything now goes in this bag. So we'll just sort this all here. Come on, just... It's not recognizing my clicks for some reason. So, for those of you who are not aware, there's a real quick way to pay off your debt, which is to get a tribal favor. Now, you have several days to get a tribal favor rather than raise the money. But you can do it in such a quick amount of time that it's virtually not necessary to work all that hard at it. And you can get it super fast in the early part of the game. So we're going to make a couple of bandages here. Make a campfire kit. And that'll help us if we need to set up camp somewhere along the way for food. Got plenty of food here. Let's go ahead and first of all, let's sell off. We only need one of these, so get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Alright, and now we're going to go and make a few more tools real quick. Oh yeah, first of all, we want to get the other part of our equipment because we still have enough to get it. So we're going to go ahead and get the shield here, because I like to play board and sword, and the shield is really useful. So that takes care of most of our money, but we're going to take the time to make a couple of things that will help us out here. Plus we're going to dump some of this weight before we head out of town. Early on, you don't need to stockpile everything. Just make what you need and sell off most of everything else without being too worried about it. Actually, I just need to go down here. So a couple of things first. Let's make some jerky. And is it... It's double salt. Yeah, there we go. Alright, and that makes jerky, but more importantly, it makes 5 jerky. So that's a scaling up in resources for us. Let's see, what else do I have here? These guys, okay. So we want to go ahead and sell the cook the crab eye. Whatever you do, don't eat these because they will kill you. And the game will not stop you from doing something foolish like eating your highly poisonous stuff. Okay. And let's go ahead and stick that up there. Got 9 of those. Alright, we have enough to make one more recipe so that we have it on our list of things known. And this just makes a meal, the pirate meal. And it's just really just a highly filling meal. So you can carry that around just to fill up your food. It does not have any really good special effects for it. So you're not going to get any like really good bonus. We're going to keep that in our inventory. Don't need that. Don't need the bread. Now anything you put in here, the decay rate is slowed significantly. So bear that in mind, because you can slow down the decay rate on items that you want to keep by a large margin. Okay, so let's keep all but 2 of these. Keep that. And let's go ahead and make the items that we need real quick. So we're gonna add that, and that's gonna make us some ice rags, so we can add ice element to our weapon. And then we're going to add some poison rags. Alright, we're out of rags, so that's the end of that. We'll get plenty more because cloth items drop just all over the place. They're constant. Now, before we head out of the village, we need to go talk to the guy at the gate so that he gives us a skill for whatever weapon we have equipped. So in this case, it's going to be my sword. And you can already see, because I'm sprinting all over the place, I'm losing max stamina. But rather than going out that way, we're going to go out... Gubberries. Rather than heading out the door, we're going to actually head out the back here through the town storage, because there's a way out the back, and it will lead us to where we can get ourselves the boon that we need. So real quick, we're going to add these to our quick slots. So that we can make use of them. Alright. That should have us squared away. Now you can take the time to talk to everybody, but I've already listened to all of the information that they give you, so I'm not really all that interested in it. So, generally I say don't take anything that you don't absolutely need right away. It's one of the reasons why I sold the other lantern, because I already knew that this one was down here. Don't need an extra flint and steel right now. Take the bread. Food is always good to have, or at least a little bit of food. And there's the scroll for that jam that I already crafted on my own. Alright, so the padded helm is good. So iron spikes. Some of these we can just break down, like this guy. And if we need to, we can break down the axe, but I don't really want to. Okay, so here we go. Troglodyte. These guys are very easy to fight. So I've already hit him. Just again, circle strafe around them. And now he's bleeding real good. Because they're using basically a spear weapon. Oh, that was worthless. Because they're using a spear weapon, they're very easy to avoid. But watch out for that round swing there. Because they can catch you by surprise on that one. Only two of them with just wood. Ugh. Now I could take those spears and try to turn them in for cash too, but I don't want to waste the time. I can come back here after them. After I've got what I'm actually after. And since I'm going to be going out and not be able to come back this way, I just want to grab what is essential. So this leads to like a secret back exit to the village. Good old secrets. Alrighty. Take a drink here since my throat is getting sore. Yummy. Alright, so this brings us to the beach here. Now, watch out for these shrimp things. They are super deadly. And they shoot like bald lightning at whomever they decide to fight. So once you're ready to fight them, like, I'm going to close range with this guy. Actually, I'm going to do it here, because it's no telling how close he's going to get. And now I'm going to get myself ready. And I drop my bag because if I fight him, I'm going to need as much mobility as possible. And actually, let's drink our tea here, so we get our stamina back. Alright, I'm going to have to take him on here, because he's right in the way of where I need to go. Okay, so first things first, these terrain items, like this skeleton, will prevent him from hitting me with his lightning, and in some cases even seeing me. So like, he can kind of sense that I'm here, but he doesn't actually know that I'm here. So I'm going to go ahead and apply frost to my weapon and target him. See, he's going to use his, and I use my skill to screw him up. Alright, and now he's down. Take all this. Oh, you want some too, Birdo? Alright, you should try to avoid damage. I took a fair bit there. I'm going to go ahead and put a bandage on. Alright. Take my sword out, because there's usually another one on the other side of this rock here. So we have to be mindful of that. So this is the guy we want. So we're going to go ahead and... Alright, so that, yep, see, there's another one right there. But this little blue sparkling sand, we want to gather that because that's worth a lot, especially if you want to be like a heavy armor character. That's going to be your bread and butter. But for the moment, we're going to head back up the beach here, because we want to try and hit as many of the things we need to do quickly, so that we can stop having to be on the time limit. Because again, we've got to come up with either a buttload of money or the tribal favor within 5 days. So we have 5 days to kind of string out different things that we want to do. And you'll find that there are timed quests like this all through the game. Now we've got some fire that we can add to our weapon as well, although I'm not going to put it on here. So this path, if we follow this around to the left here, it will eventually... Oh, geez. I did not see those guys. And I did not pick up my bag either. Alright, so, new plan. We are going to trick these guys into doing something for us. So they're chasing me, because they're like, yummy. But what they don't know is that I'm leading them into a trap. Alright. See, so now he's been peeled off. And that thing will make short work of that guy. See, again, the two-hit combo is probably your best. Okay. And I think we'll take on this other shrimp too. This time we'll put a little poison on there. Alright, so now I gotta be careful because I'm low on stamina. Oh, he got me. That hurt. Alright. Now we gotta deal with this birdo here. Okay, come on. Come on, get some. Alright. Alright, let's heal up here, because now we're seriously injured. Making, yep, pouches. Oh, I gotta go get my bag. I forgot. So you always gotta remember to go back for your bag. And I forget it regularly. So it's always in your best benefit to try and stay on top of that. So I'm gonna run back over here, and I think it was behind this one here. Yep. So we'll pick up our bag so we can loot stuff. Let's go ahead and move all the things that we looted down here. Okay. One of the other things you can find along this beach is fish, which is one of the things we're actually actively looking for. Let's see if I thought there was one back here. Yeah, there is. So you can see him, even though the sun's going down, you can still see him here. Because I want a rainbow trout. There we go. Perfect. Let's go clean up our kills here. And all the animals and stuff, everything in the game basically respawns at, as far as I can tell, like about a 3-day rotation. So in 3 days, all of these animals will have respawned and been replaced with something else. So if you're looking to, like, you know, if you got your A game and you can take on these shrimp all day long, then, you know, you can go ahead and take them on. Now I could go in that cave and get more of the blue sand, but at the moment my health really isn't up to it, so I'm not going to push my luck any further. And that's one of the things to be mindful of. This game will punish you for being cavalier. Right now I know that I'm injured. If I push too hard, I'm going to die. And since I'm playing on hardcore, dying can and will be fatal. You know, like, you can get a few occasions where you'll die and some circumstance will come into play where you'll be saved, but those are few and far between. Those are not the norm. The norm is that you will be killed and you get the one life, and that's it. So, and I personally really like hardcore because, like, you know, it's kind of like playing Minecraft on hardcore. You know, as soon as you screw up and die, your character can and will be deleted. And that makes for a much more exhilarating kind of gameplay as far as I'm concerned. That's why I'm playing this one in hardcore. Man, were they like right over that hill and I just didn't see them? That's crazy. Obviously, as you're out and about trying to gather things up, there are a few items that should take priority. This oil is one of them, because this is one of the quickest ways for you to make a decent amount of money. Thick oil can be used to alchemically craft. Ooh, almost walked up on another pair of them. And while that might be fun, I doubt that it would be fun for me with as little health as I currently have. But we don't want to be totally vulnerable as we go along here, so we're going to have to take the time to clear out our inventory and come back. Ooh, some more bandages. Excellent. So now we can apply another bandage to try and keep ourselves alive long enough to get back to the town. Now, as I said, we can turn in the favor immediately, but we don't have to. We do have a couple of days, and turning in the favor does progress the quest stories. And at a certain point, you'll basically find yourself on a timer, which is unfun because it will basically make you feel like you have to get certain things done and have to skip certain things, and you don't get the time to really kind of explore and get your feet under you. So instead, taking the time to slow the early progression of the game down can help you. Now, one of the reasons why I gather up the berries is because you can make them into a jam, and the jam can be sold. And that's really all there is to it. You can sell the jam, and the jam is worth money. I'm not going to sell any of those because I can use them, but we can get rid of that one. Keep the padded helmet because I can use it for crafting a special armor set later on. Don't need that. Don't need that because I already know how to make both of those. But while I've got him here, I'm going to go ahead and buy that off of him, and that's probably going to be it because I can sell him these. Yeah, let's sell him the 2 hides. What else can I sell to him? Don't need the pressure plate because I can't actually use it right now, because you need special training to be able to use the pressure plates. I can sell him those. But it's not going to be enough because I want this. This gives a better bonus to the bag. It doesn't give as good a bonuses for all this other stuff, but for early on, it's not that bad. But we will hold off for the moment. We'll complete our transaction, and we will go. And that's one of the things is buying, whenever you can, buying up the thick oil. That will help you out pretty quickly early on because you'll be able to stockpile a large amount of this stuff pretty quickly. Alright. How much meat do we have? We have 6. So, real quick, drink this. And then we're going to dump it and fill it with salt water. And the reason for that is I can convert the salt water into fresh water by boiling it, or by using the cook fire, and it will provide me with the salt, which I need for making more jerky. Okay. So let's make some jerky. And now we're short. Alright. Alrighty, so we got that. We're hungry, so let's go ahead and eat. That's why we got this in the first place. Oh yes. Rainbow trout. We need that for a mission. So, for a quest. So, and that's rainbow trout, seaweed, and salt. And there we go. So we'll turn that one in. Alright, so drop that off. Drop those 2 off. Okay, drop that. And we're gonna dump the other things that we want to keep out of the way of trouble. Drops that off. That off. Alright. So, normally if we were smart, and I'm not claiming to be smart, we would sleep so that we could recover some of our health and stamina. But I'm going to go ahead and press on so that we can do the other part of this process. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves the the cobalt caves, or well, the troglodyte caves, so that we can there we go. Yeah, he made me something special, which is awesome. We're going to do the caves that the troglodytes are in, where the quest that that lady up there gave us. We're going to go basically do that one. But before we do, we're going to go in here and grab the items that we left behind that we can sell. You have to remember to turn off your torch, because it will wear down over time. It'll basically run out of oil, and then you're pretty much SOL. Don't need that. So I'm just going to take the 2 troglodyte spears that are up here, because again, these guys do not respawn over time. Well, they do respawn over time, but they don't respawn immediately. We're going to go ahead and eat this because it will give us back some of our maximum health, which is always good. So, we're just gonna keep cruising along here. Because as you can see, it's already the start of day 3. Our character hasn't slept since starting out, so he will start getting sleepy here, especially if we keep him up for a whole nother day. But that's okay. Part of what we're after here is that we want to get the necessary components to be able to make a fat ton of money really fast. And that can be done simply by doing some alchemy. But if you want to make it the most efficient use of your time, you have to get a good large supply. And that means doing a bit of scavenging, and running around. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. What the hell is that? Apparently I had a hair in my food that I didn't notice, and it was stuck in my teeth. That was rather annoying. Perfect. Okay, so we got that. Alright, so the spawns around here are kind of random. You'll have hyenas, you'll have the big white birds, and you'll also have bandits. So you see those guys down there. There's a couple of bandits walking around down there. We'll leave them alone for now, because I don't really want to tangle with them. Even though I can take them, I don't want to expend the effort and potentially get double teamed by them. Okay, so see there's a couple of hyenas over here, so for the most part, if you're careful, you can outmaneuver many of the animals. And if when you first encounter an animal, always assume that they're hostile. There's only a handful of animals in this game that are not immediately hostile to you. So if it's walking around and it's not in a town, it's probably going to try and eat you or kill you. So here's some more of that thick oil. And you'll notice every time I harvest metal or do some kind of mining or gather up like the thick oil, occasionally I'll get a different kind of beetle, and that's one we can use for a health restoring tea, as well as a number of other things here. Okay, we're gonna leave everything that he has on him, because we don't need any of it right now. And the extra weight, we'll actually use him as a deposit area while we... Hello. Oh, he's seen me. Here we go. See, this sword, that fight would not nearly be as easy without this sword. Because this sword does a bit more stagger damage among many other things. So now that we've got this guy, one of the things you need to be mindful of this place is this door right here. There's a pair of doors right here that require gemstones to open. It's a tiny aquamarine and a small sapphire is what they require. You can occasionally find both of them in this dungeon, but usually you'll gain them at random from mining or gathering resources. So if you find a gemstone, because there are other gemstone doors of different types in the game, so you should be mindful not to immediately throw out or sell a gemstone. Okay, so he's going to come back, so let's set up a fun little party for him. Alright, so, oops. So we've set a trap for him. And he missed it. Okay. Then I will just... Fine, be that way. I was trying to be nice and kill you with the trap. But no. This is the mushroom that she sent us to get. So we're going to go ahead and take that. So we've got what we've actually been in here for. Drink some water. Refill our water if we need it. So I'm going to leave that trap there for now, just in case I need it for later. And we're going to go and keep pushing on here. Now there's a particular order that I like to do this dungeon in, and you're watching me do it now. It's just the order I like to attack. There's one of the items that we need. And I don't need the quarterstaff, so I'm just going to drop it. It's dead weight, I can't sell it, so there's no point in carrying it. Alright, so there's always one guy in here. And we'll stab him. Is that it? Oh, no, no, don't you dare run. Yeah, don't let them run. Because if they get away, they will come back in numbers. And that's never going to work out for you. Alright, so that's another item of importance there. Okay. Alright. So here comes another one. See how badly I roll with my bag on? Okay. Drop the bag. Anytime you can catch them alone is a good time. A lot of the enemies in this game are either really difficult by themselves or really difficult in groups. And it's the ones that are difficult in groups that you have to be mindful of, because by themselves they don't seem that bad. And so you can get really cocky and think, oh, I can take these guys. But then you fight 2 or even 3 of them in a bad situation or bad area, and suddenly you're in a world of hurt. So now, since we found that that tiny aquamarine, we're going to go ahead and use it to open the first door. Chances are we're not going to find the second gemstone that we need, but that is okay, because I kind of expected as much. So we're going to go ahead and come over here and use that, and then we're going to go back to that body that's by the front door, and we're going to use him as a staging area. Okay, so I don't need that. I do need that. Wait, do I have enough? Metal. Okay, I got enough metal there. Wood and cloth. Okay, so this will work out to our advantage. We're going to go metal, metal, cloth, wood. And now we've made 2 tripwires, which we can use to set traps for our enemies. But in the meantime, inventory. So let's go ahead and dump off everything that we don't technically need. All right. All right. Alright, that puts us down pretty low on our weight, and so we can proceed again. And again, there's an order I like to do this because it lets me pick off the stragglers, the ones that move around in small groups of 1, rather than trying to take on groups of 2 first, where it's more likely to get me killed. So I'm going to go ahead and dismantle this one. So that we can use it. And what you'll see is that oh, hello. I was not expecting you. Oh, no you don't. Don't you dare. Okay. Ah, shoot. Alright. Make a run for it. Okay, so inventory, tripwire, place here. Now let's go get him and bait him up here. Hi there, come on. Come get me. I'm a silly human. So you should always be mindful to use traps whenever you can. I know it seems like you'd be like, oh no, that's not honorable or whatever, but honestly, you take these guys on however you can. And the only thing that matters is getting the W here. As you go along, you'll be able to craft and use pressure pads as well if you go and get the skill. But again, it is not a necessity. But pressure pads are pretty cool because they have area of effect, so you can have them dump out like a large amount of chaos right when you need it. Alright, so I'm preemptively setting one up because I know that there are more ahead of me somewhere, and so I want a fallback point. And I'm going to set up a second one here. And I'm using their own spears as the weapon for it, so it's always a bit of delicious irony. Okay, so take all of that. So now there should be 2 of them in here. Yep, see. There we go. Come get me, slowpokes. Come on, boys. So they're basically just following my light right now. Hello. Now he spotted me. Okay, so come get some. Alright. 1 down. Alright. You, sir, did not stand a chance. So now there's only 1 group left that I need to worry about. And I'll use a trap on them as well. To help me deal with the uniqueness, because that one's actually like a shaman and a soldier, so it's like one of the regular green ones and one that uses magic, so we're gonna have to be a little more careful with them. More oil here. And so we're gonna backtrack here. Take apart our trap. There we go. And so the last group of them is over here. Looks like they're coming up here. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, shoot. He's coming up. He hasn't seen me yet, but he's going to. Okay, I'm out of stamina. I'm in serious trouble here. Alright, buddy, come on. He's buffing him. Come get some. There we go. Alright. Ooh, Fang Sword's almost broken. That's no good. Alright. That should be all of them in this dungeon, so I shouldn't have to worry about any more trouble from these guys. Whew. That was very close. Very, very dangerous. Let's do some quick mining. I was hoping for a little bit more out of that, but okay. Sometimes they come up out of here and sometimes they don't. Generally, if they do come out of here, then you generally are in for some trouble. Okay, gravel beetle. Sweet, take all of that. And now it is time to get out of here. We weren't able to find another stone to open up the second door. So we'll have to keep an eye out for a small sapphire so that we can use it later in order to unlock the other door, because it opens up a room up there that has some very spicy items that we can get. So now the trick will be to get as much as we can back to the town to use. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. Alright, so generally you can forget about those. Those are basically useless. Yeah, they're worth 6 each, but it's not worth getting yourself all worked up over. So what I'm doing right now is I'm filling up whatever space I can to prevent everything from overrunning on weight. So a lot of these small weight items I'm throwing together in my inventory up top in the pockets. Alright, and now I can take the rest of this here. Alright, so I think we can take 2 of these. No, we'll take 1. We'll leave the rest. We don't need them. They're of minimal value. I mean, because like 6 times 6, so there'd be about 36 silver there that we're leaving behind. But we can kind of live with that. Now again, this dungeon will repopulate in about 3 days. And we have to be super careful because my sword is almost broken. Like, yeah, that's in need of some repair. Now you can repair in 2 ways. The first way that you can do the repairs is by taking your weapon to any blacksmith. Basically, there's one in every town, and paying 50 silver for them to repair it. The other way is for you to sleep and dedicate some of the time that you're sleeping to the repair or maintenance of your equipment. And I think for every hour that you do it, you get basically like 10% of the durability back. So I'm going to just do the sleep method because we're only on day 3. I can clearly sleep through about half a day or so to just do sleep and repairs. And that should cover me for what I need. Okay, so we've made it back to town. Okay, so we don't actually need these right now. Like they're good. I'll keep them. I'm too much of a pack rat. We can go ahead and sell that and that, so as not to need them. We don't need the looter mask, although I could break that down. And we don't need the straw hat. Yeah, I think that's going to take care of all of that. So since we can't afford the blacksmith to repair our gear, we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way of doing the work ourselves. So we'll go back to our house, we will drop a bunch of stuff off, and I think that that's going to be the end of the recording for tonight. I'm working on, you'll notice that I've put together a variety of resources that I'm going to be using to make some money. Primarily, it's going to be that thick oil. I actually need to do something though real quick. My lantern is extremely low durability, I think. Let's see here. Nope. Oh, but that one's low durability. Huh. Okay. Well, we can sell the low durability one. But we're going to go ahead and start storing the things that we don't need here. Okay. Store those, that, those. Alright, let's clean up our inventory here real quick. Alright. Alright, that has us set to go. Let's go ahead and sell off the things we don't need and turn in our 2 quests here. So this will show you the different ways that you can use to earn money within the 5 days. So first we'll run over past the main hall here to the lady that gave us the quest. So by talking to her and giving her the mushroom, she gives us 70 silver. And then we can also give her that garnet that we got for another 30. And that gives us an 100 that we can work with. So 149 silver is a pretty good place to start. But we're gonna do some quick sales and grab a couple of items, one particular item for ourselves, so that we can do the other quests. Specifically, we're going to go ahead and sell the worn out lantern and the troglodyte spear. And those are the items that we're going to sell off here. And in return for that, we are going to buy the ever so fun. Let's see here. I want to sell some. Let's sell a couple of these. Alright, perfect. And now we have an alchemy tool for doing all of our necessary alchemy when we're ready. We're not quite ready yet because I usually try to build up a pretty good war chest of stuff to do alchemy with before I get started. And that way the amount of money you can get in one haul is substantial. Oh yeah, we're going to show the I totally got distracted. We were going to show, now that we had the money to pay off our debt, but the way we pay off our debt is simply by coming up here and telling an old lady that we have her money, or that we have a way to pay the debt. Okay. Yep. So now she'll tell us that both of my friends are leaving. So, and they're mad because my friend who was running the boat that we were on that crashed, uh, a blood price has been placed on him and his family because his brother was the one who forgot to light the watchtower, the the lighthouse, and so uh, they're both responsible. And my friend is the one who was running the boat, and he's decided to take banishment instead. So it's interesting to listen to the way that the different ideology, because like each group represents a different ideology. So the town here represents a very communist kind of mindset. You're part of a collective. You're not just one person. But at the same time, the people that she's going to go join are like altruistic ne'er do wells. They're basically uh like Catholics basically. If you really want to get down to it, they're you know crusaders against an evil, and they have a manifest God that is actually physically walking around with them. So it's kind of hard to not take into account. But that leaves us with the one that this guy is going to go to, the guy that's on the beach there. He is going to go to a place that's basically freedom and individualism based. That is a hell of a sword on your back, by the way, dude. Okay. So, a meritocracy is kind of what it is. You succeed or fail by your own merits. Okay. And he's gonna. So he's telling us how to get there. So now you talk to each of them, and they each basically try to recruit you. Uh, in each case, they leave the door open. See, I want her backpack. Her backpack looks cool. She wants us to join. I love that sword, though. That is a wicked, wicked sword. Kind of blinding, but really a cool sword. So we'll tell her that we'll think about it. Yeah, self-control and zeal. So that basically sets the stage for us making a decision, because now when we come back up here, the old lady will give us an option. Okay, old lady. Okay. If you want to read this, just pause it on each one. Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, that has set the path for us to tread. We can choose which group we want to join, and we can then go through to them. So the paths to all the other locations are now open to us, and we are free to branch out. There are a bunch of different things that we can do before that, and a lot of the story and like timed elements of the game don't kick off until we actually select a faction to be a part of. So we'll want to be mindful of that as we go along. In the meantime, I need to have my character rest so that he can repair his weapon. So 10 hours is enough to fully fix any weapon, but we'll just do 7 hours. That's 70%. This guard for the ambush amount only is necessary if you're sleeping outside of a town. Okay. And that should be good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I think I said that already once before. If you're enjoying the series, please, if you enjoy the content that I create, I do try to do a bunch of streams every now and then, especially on the weekends. I branch out to a variety of different games, but if you enjoy the content that I make and you want to show your support, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, basically do whatever it is you feel you want to do in order to let me know that you appreciate the content that I create. And until next time, I'm Wrath, and I will catch you on the flip side.